Hello, friends. It's Comic Kid 84 here. Here to tell you that I'm a Batman fan. All right, I'm a Batman collector, and I'm always on the lookout for cool Batman books to add to my collection. And this is a book that recently got on my radar. I felt like I was surprised at what the book goes for, considering the condition, which you'll see shortly. And there's a lot of cool things going for it. It is a key book that I don't think is commonly cited, or I don't see it around very often. It's a light key, but sometimes key is something that can be overused, right? Making every little thing a key. But there is some cool key stuff about this book, and that's what we're here to do. I'm going to open this baby up. We're going to talk about this book a little bit, and boom, that's what you're signing up for, okay? Let's get to it. So, as a Batman fan, as a Batman collector, I'm a big fan of that Rogues Gallery. Batman, in my book, best Rogues Gallery in the game. And he's got a bunch of villains, which means, there's a lot of books that we can kind of add to our collection regarding all these different villains. And this is a book that revolves around, one of the few Batman villains that has yet to make a big screen appearance anywhere. I'll be looking forward to the day that they do this guy on screen. I think they could be some cool. I don't think he's a big enough character to carry like a movie as a title villain, but I think he could be worked in a pretty cool way. Just building up suspense as I get this open for the unveiling. The packaging, pretty well packaged. We got this baby wrapped in foam. Let's see what we got. Let's see what I picked up, man. I like this foam, actually. It's pretty good for slabs. Okay. Undo this baby. Like so. Take this poly bag off it. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you Batman number 359 from May 1983. Take a nice look at this puppy here. Fantastic cover artwork. Love that trade dress, man. That Batman has some of the best trade dress in comics. Where they kind of kicked at the angle like that. The blue and yellow color scheme makes this thing look like just a winner. What a beauty of a book. So, what's going on with this book? As you can see, the Killer Croc is the villain I was referring to. There he is, chilling in his nice green briefs. Killer Croc will become Gotham's king of crime. So that's what I was referring to as the villain that, hasn't made like screen debut yet or anything. And I think a pretty cool villain in his own right. So, what's like the keynotes that I was referring to about this? This one has like a double key situation. So, it's the first Killer Croc cover. Okay. So, First Croc cover debut. And the other keynote about this is that this book is the first comic book artwork of the one and only Dan Jurgens. That's right. The man who owned Superman in the 90s. See that? First comic book work by Dan Jurgens. First Killer Croc cover. This is a Dick Giordano cover. And Ed Hannigan. I'm not as familiar with Mr. Hannigan. But in a Jerry Conway story. So Batman 359, first cover appearance of Croc. And while we're on the subject of the Killer Croc, I figured I would just pull up some of the Killer Croc key books, because he's an interesting character where I feel like his first appearances and the way they rolled out this character, I think, is kind of interesting. So I think when most people think of the Killer Croc and having like a Killer Croc key book, they normally cite this one. This is Batman number 357. 357, so 2 issues before this one. Batman 357, which they call second cameo appearance of Killer Croc. And then first appearance of Jason Todd. Cameo appearance of Jason Todd. So it's kind of interesting that this is, I feel like, widely considered like the Killer Croc book to have. But technically it's the second cameo appearance of Killer Croc. And this one is the first cover appearance of Killer Croc. So let's dig into that a little bit more. And what is the actual first appearance of Killer Croc? What's the deal with this guy? So here we go. First cameo appearance of Killer Croc. Detective Comics number 523. Here's his first cameo. When they rolled out Killer Croc, he was just a dude in a trench coat and a hat. So they were like disguising his appearance for a little bit when they were rolling out the character. So first cameo of Killer Croc, he's in his, trench coat, fedora hat version in this issue. Then, again, like I said, second, so that's first cameo. This second cameo of Killer Croc, same deal, where he's in that trench coat. All right. And then we get to the first full appearance of Killer Croc. First full appearance, Killer Croc, Detective Comics number 524. All right. So this is the first time that you get to see the Killer Croc. He's revealed in this issue. Then you get this book, Batman number 358, the issue before this one. And this one is cited as the second full appearance of Killer Croc and the first cameo cover appearance. Now that's interesting because there ain't that many characters that, like, you've seen, it's very common that someone has a first cameo appearance. Sometimes you see second cameo appearance and then a first full. But dude, I don't think there's that many cameo cover appearances. It's such a weird, it's such weird wording to have a cameo cover appearance. Because either he's on the freaking cover or not. But I guess I can see why, because he's on there, but they're calling it a cameo because if you take a look at it, see, can I zoom this thing in? Not really. It just looks like it's a dude with a trench coat and a fedora hat on the cover of this book. So I guess I can see why they would call it cameo cover appearance, because it doesn't look like you have Killer Croc on the cover. It looks like a dude in a fedora. And then you get first cover appearance of Croc. And maybe it's his like fourth appearance at this point. But I think this is a killer book, man. Great debut cover for the Killer Croc. You got a bunch of villains around him. Are those crocodiles? Oh yeah, look at that. I just noticed that. There's actual crocodiles chilling by his feet. And one last thing I'd like to show you. We're going to circle back to this one here. Detective Comics 524, the first full appearance of the Killer Croc. I actually have that issue queued up here. And I'm going to show you the moment, the first full appearance of Killer Croc. Are you ready? Can you believe it? Boom. There it is. As you can see in the left-hand panel, you got the man in the trench coat, fedora hat, his face shrouded in shadow. And then boom, that's the Squid. The Squid is such a weird Batman villain. He's kind of a doofus. But anyway, so Squid tries manhandling Croc. Hat falls off, face revealed. This panel right here is the first full appearance of the Killer Croc. That's why they name it that way, because you finally get to see this guy's face. They're still calling him Croc leading up to it. But anyway, that's when you see him. Another thing that's kind of interesting about this issue, while we have it open, is you see in Killer Croc, we finally get to see his face. Later on in the issue, we come to a little like dinner party type thing that's happening down at the Wayne Manor. And this panel is interesting. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Okay, this panel is interesting. Commissioner Gordon shaking hands with these people on the right-hand side. This suave mofo in the yellow and red jacket is Dick Grayson. And what he's saying here in this panel, so I can zoom this in a little bit. Hold up. Okay. Let's zoom this in. Commissioner Gordon, I'd like you to meet some new friends of mine from the Sloan Circus. Joseph and Trina Todd and their son, Jason. The Flying Todds. The best trapeze troupe in America or Europe. What? That's right. I think maybe a little known fact about Jason Todd. Everyone knows of Jason Todd as the punk street kid, the kid with the attitude. He got caught trying to like steal the rims off of the Batmobile. And that's how he became Robin. Batman took him in, right? He thought the kid had spunk or whatever. But that's actually a retcon. They rebooted him to be that version of Jason Todd. When they first introduced Jason Todd, they just jacked the Dick Grayson origin. They just made him a freaking also a circus trapeze artist. Which thank God they abandoned that, because that's so like uninspired. And also, let's make sure we point out here. This is Jason Todd here in the lower right-hand side of this panel. Look at that mop top, dude. He's a redhead. They originally wrote him as a redhead, Partridge Family hairdo-looking dude. Pretty funny, pretty interesting stuff. So, yeah, man. that's what we got. We unveiled Batman 359. Oh, I'll tell you what I paid for it. Would you guys like to know? Because I said that because for a book from 1983, it has some key aspects to it, right? First cover appearance of Killer Croc, first artwork by Dan Jurgens. Really a fantastic presenting book. This 9.8 ran me like $180. And I mean, I know that's not like dirt cheap or anything, but I do feel like for a Batman title that is from the Bronze Age, tail end of the Bronze Age, but still Bronze Age nonetheless, and at a 9.8, there are so many books that from the Bronze Age that once they hit that 9.8 mark, like the prices just spike kind of crazy. But I feel like this one doesn't. It GPAs for $160. GPA on this book at 9.8 is 160. So maybe I overpaid a little bit, but you know what? I'm happy with it. I probably could have made a point to like find a clean copy out in the wild, and then submitted it to CGC for a 9.8, and probably end up paying half the amount at the end of the day, something like that. Because you can find raw copies. But, you know, who's got time for that? I like the idea that this one was locked and loaded, 9.8, minty grade. I'm happy with the price that I paid. I think it's a cool book. And, you know, undervalued, question mark? That's what I put in the title. Is this an undervalued book? I don't know. You tell me. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Do you think maybe this book might get a little more recognition in the future? We'll see. But either way, I'm happy to have this bad boy. Cool Dan Jurgens key. Awesome first cover appearance of Killer Croc. Great looking book. 9.8. There you go. We learned a little bit about Croc. We learned a little bit about Jason Todd. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time. Peace.